Hello friend, I want to tell you about the Renault Captur car. What engines were installed? In total, Renault Captur was offered in 6 engine variants, in reality 4 engines in different power versions. The basic unit is a 0.9 TCE petrol generating 90 horsepower, the only petrol with a 5-speed gearbox. The more powerful and larger unit is the 1.2 TCE generating 118 HP. It was combined with a 6-speed manual or EDC automatic. After the facelift, the 1.3 TCE petrol appeared in 130 and 150 HP versions. The latter is the most dynamic in the range. It allows the Captur to accelerate to 100 km per hour in 9.5 seconds with manual, and up to 210 km per hour. The diesel range featured 2 versions of the 1.5 DCI engine. The 90 bhp version, equipped with a 5-speed gearbox, also came with the option of a 6-speed EDC automatic. The 110 bhp version was offered only with a 6-speed manual. Which engine to choose? The matter is very simple in this case. If you want a petrol engine, the best is the 0.9 TCE. If you want dynamics, it is better to buy a newer car with a 1.3-liter unit. The 1.2 engine does not have very good reviews. It burns oil and stretches the timing chain. If you are looking for some compromise and something with the performance of the 1.2, it is best to go for the more powerful diesel. It gives very good dynamics in the mid-range, which makes it seem livelier than the 1.2, and at the same time burns incredibly little fuel. Getting below 5L 100 km is no challenge, and on the road you can oscillate around 4L 100 km. If you only care about low fuel consumption, you can safely go for the weaker 90 horsepower version. The 0.9 TCE engine is also satisfied with a small amount of petrol. With skillful driving, you can achieve results below 6L 100 km. Users on autocentrum.pl declare values of 6.3 to 6.5 L 100 km. The least economical are the 1.2 and 1.3 engines, burning an average of about 7 L 100 km, which is still a good result. Both units are equipped with direct injection, so unlike the 0.9 TCE, it is not recommended to install an autogas system in them. The EDC gearbox is a dual-clutch transmission with average durability, but usually without major problems. It doesn't have many advantages beyond the automation of gear changes, because both fuel consumption and performance are significantly worse than manual gearboxes. It works quite sluggishly. Typical faults: the main complaints from users concern the delicate paintwork and faulty electrics. The latter is not surprising in French cars. Radio, locks, electrically adjustable mirrors, sometimes lights. These usually break down. Before the facelift, the R-Link multimedia system works slowly and can turn off. On the other hand, the paintwork is easy to damage, but cars usually do not corrode. Another Captur ailment is creaking or knocking front suspension. It is subject to thorough inspection after driving about 100,000 kilometers. Shock absorber pads and all bushes may need to be replaced. Occasionally, users complain about the operation of manual 5-speed gearboxes. More trouble can be expected from the engines. A typical problem with the 0.9 L unit is coolant leaking from the thermostat housing. In more heavily used engines, there may be increased oil consumption, but not enough to intervene. The main problems of the 1.2 unit are already significant oil consumption, carbon buildup, and timing chain stretching. In 2023, Renault was sued by many customers for not intervening in the issue of excessive oil burning and oil and petrol mixing. However, if you get a good one and take care of the oil service, usually nothing bad happens to this engine. There is not much to say about the newer 1.3 TCE unit, which is a derivative of the 1.2 design but improved. It is worth mentioning that the engine is fitted with a GPF filter. One of the problems is that petrol gets into the oil. However, this only happens during long-term intensive use over short distances, because after a good warm-up, petrol evaporates. The 1.5 DCI diesel is a design known for many years, which may or may not have a problem with bearings. In the period in which the Captur was produced, the problem has been almost eliminated, and only affects models whose owners do not care about regular oil changes every 10,000 kilometers. Greater concerns should be had about the injection system or supercharging, although usually nothing bad happens up to 200,000 kilometers. The DPF filter is not a big problem with this model, but cars used mainly in the city are good to let out on the highway from time to time. Diesel is potentially the most expensive to operate. Thanks for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and rate my video. If you know any problems with this car that I didn't mention, be sure to write about them in the comments.